snake bit is not a term you ever want to hear to describe a ball club. But right now, it sure feels that way for the Giants because all the breaks this series have happened for the Brewers. But today, the Giants turn to Tim Lincecum to reverse the curse of the last 2 games. Lincecum takes on the Brewers in Game 4 of the series next.
Day baseball here at AT Park as we get ready to wrap up this 4-game series, Brewers and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. 2 real disappointing losses in a row for the Giants against this Brewers team. And today, a win they can even up the series. They would have liked to have done better, but at this point, well, you got to kind of, sleep in the bed you made. So you got to win today, and Lincecum's throwing the ball well.
Well, and when he's been going out there of late, he's really given them a great chance to win. You look back at his last 8 starts, and he has finally found that consistent set of mechanics that allows him to control all of his pitches. And I think his last outing in particular was the best game he's had all year with the fastball. So right now we're thinking when he goes out there, they're going to have a great chance to win.
No Buster Posey in the lineup. Hector Sanchez called up. He is starting, and he's behind the dish. It's been all about the non-big fly. There has been a power outage. When we come back, Amy G is going to take a look at that power outage. No home runs in a while. Should do that right after this.
To you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. And by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
Well, your San Francisco Giants are getting set for the finale of this 4-game series versus the Brewers. Hey, they need a win in more ways than one, but they certainly need one to split this series. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and if you are thinking it's been a while since you've seen a San Francisco Giant hit a home run here at AT Park, you're right. In fact, the last home run hit at 3rd and King, it's our AT&T U-verse Rewind this afternoon. We're going to take you back July 20th. Buster Posey goes yard against the Diamondbacks. And we've had a drought since. The Giants have not hit a home run in 11 consecutive games. That is 101 innings. Now, the San Francisco record for a home run drought was actually set last season at 16 games between May and June. So what are we trying to say? They are due, and today may just be their day because the Brewers starter, Donovan Hand, well, he's given up 5 home runs in his last 13 innings pitched. Just saying. All right, Kruk and Kuip are going to be back with first pitch and lineup, so we're going to check in with our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update right after these messages, so stay with us.
presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 59 degrees here at the yard. We have light winds, humidity at 75%, and it is overcast. Here's Ron Renicke's lineup. It'll go like this. Aoki's going to lead things off, followed by Gene Segura, and then Jonathan Lucroy. Carlos Gomez. Pretty good numbers, at least big fly numbers against the Giants this year. It'll be Gindel, followed by Bianchi, Francisco Betancourt, and then Donovan Hand.
On the hill today for the Giants will be Tim Lincecum, the 29-year-old right-hander, 5'11", 160-pounder. And for Tim Lincecum, he is in his 7th year at the big league level, 5-11 on the year and 22 starts, 4.43 ERA. His last couple outings, however, in 14 innings, he's given up 3 runs. And look at the strikeouts, 142 in 134 innings pitched. He's been outstanding. And what makes him good is ability to control his 4 pitches. A fastball that'll go low 90s with a curveball, slider, and a split. He's been racking up some pretty impressive strikeout totals of late. 3 of his last 5 starts, he's had double-digit figures in the strikeout category. Against these Milwaukee Brewers, he is 3-3 lifetime with a 4.59 ERA. You saw the Milwaukee Brewers lineup card with Aoki in that first spot. Let's take a look at the defense the Giants will employ today against these Milwaukee Brewers. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Kieschnick, Blanco, and Pence. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side, Scudero and Bell on the right side. And we welcome back Hector Sanchez. Recall, he's in the squad today as Buster Posey gets a day off, day game after night game. In an ideal weather condition to play this game.
So Lincecum waiting on Aoki to get into the box. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a call strike. So we started right on time. Or make that 283 for Aoki as he takes the fastball high. Last night, Aoki hit in the second spot and went 1 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and it's popped up into shallow center field. Crawford backpedaling, and that's how this game gets started. So Aoki's gone, and that'll bring up Gene Segura. Giants won the opener. We got a little help from the Brewers. However, the Brewers have not helped at all in the last 2 games. The Giants have actually helped the Brewers. So consequently, a win today evens up this 4-game series. Segura, free swinger, fouls this one straight back.
He likes that high pitch, and he got one right there. Strike zone today, Adrian Johnson, the plate umpire. It's a pretty good zone, and he's very consistent, but it is a zone where he likes that low strike, very tight early on. It will loosen up.
Here are the rest of the umpires: Honora, Colbrith, Welke. 1 ball and 1 strike. With Jonathan Lucroy on deck, Segura has never faced Lincecum before. And the 2-1 delivery is driven foul to make it 2-2. Lincecum had a no decision against these Brewers on May 4th. He's had some good games against Milwaukee, and he's had some that were not so good. And that's rolled foul. Who'll ever forget the one I think it was the first time he ever pitched against Milwaukee. He got lit up early, 6 runs in 4 innings, and he put the towel over his head, and we didn't know if he was ever going to recover in the dugout.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. He'd never been hit like that.
And he gets Segura swinging. By the way, that start we're talking about was June 19th of 07. He was just a baby then.
Just a puppy. Curveball was the payoff pitch, so he sort of dragged Segura through the garden, threw him a split, threw him a slider, and here is that curveball, strike three. And we're going to make it our Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, out front where that release point needs to be. And that has really been his consistency the last 8 starts. He has locked into a very nice set of mechanics.
Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy, 281, 16 home runs, 60 RBIs, 3 for 9 against Lincecum. As he shoots this fastball back and out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 is popped up, and that should be a souvenir as Belt will give chase. But that will indeed be out of play.
Oh, guy was parked underneath it, played him perfectly, had a beer in his hand, ready to go, and missed it. All right, let's check him out.
Mike, we need to, you always say, bring your glove and get a ball. Well, you need to be a little bit more specific.
Well, bring your glove and catch the ball. That's one very important component.
Use it.
It's not a seat cushion.
A lot of Lincecum jerseys out today, as you would expect. Two-two pitch. And a full count.
Smile smooth.
Oh, yeah. I hope that's pointing towards the field. Is it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Payoff pitch coming up to Jonathan Lucroy, and he got him to end the inning. Giants are coming up. Lineup. Scudero back in the leadoff spot, and then he'll be followed by Brandon Crawford. He's got good numbers against the Brew Crew this year. Sandoval third. Remember, no Posey. Bell will be the cleanup hitter. Pence, Kieschnick, and Hector Sanchez seventh. Blanco eighth. Lincecum ninth.
On the hill today for Milwaukee will be the right-hander Donovan Hand, 27 years old, making his 19th appearance of the season and his 7th start. And this is what he has done. Still looking for his first win. ERA 3.60 in 50 innings, 25 strikeouts against 10 walks. And he's a finesse guy. You're going to see a fastball right around 90, but a very good curveball and a very good changeup. Hand is a guy that is a strike thrower, and he really can't afford to just make mistakes out over the middle of the plate. He doesn't have that type of of stuff, but they give you 4 looks, 4 different types of movement, and he's a strike thrower. Let's take a look at the defense. The Brewers will play behind Donovan Hand. It'll be from left to right in the outfield. Gindel, Gomez, and Aoki. Segura and Betancourt will be on the left side. Bianchi and Francisco will be on the right side. And Jonathan Lucre will be in the squat, putting down the signs. Donovan Hand, a rookie from Halton, Alabama.
So here's Scudero, and Scudero takes a strike. 3-0-2 for Marco Scudero. Couple of home runs, 22 driven in. And wanted to know where that pitch was, and it's called high. The little girl's like, get out of my face.
Well, she has that right.
And it's now 1-2.
You see a lot of strikes down there today called by Adrian Johnson. He likes that low strike. Won't see many belt high strikes called.
2-2 to Scudero. Scudero does not like to take a day off, but he did last night. He actually was on deck in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter. Scudero lines it foul.
Giants still looking for their first base hit in the leadoff spot this series. It has completely shut down. And it has not made a difference who's been hitting in there.
Out of play again.
Did you like hitting leadoff?
I liked hitting second better, but I didn't mind hitting leadoff. 2-2 pitch to Scudero, and he pulls this one foul. They'll roll down the left field line, and taking a swipe at it was Anthony Robinson. And Anthony, good swipe.
All right, let's take a look. Anthony, I got this one. I got you for 1. The ball dudes today have an amazing story.
2-2 pitches cued off the end of the bat.
Both our ball dudes today have received heart transplants. You see Anthony Robinson on the right, on the first base side is Mohan Mahal.
Scudero now a 9-pitch at bat.
So we welcome our ball dudes. I will say this, just watching our ball dudes before the game, they smile a whole lot more than normal ball dudes.
2-2 pitch. And Scoot is 3-2. Crawford on deck.
There's our ball dudes. Anthony Robinson on the left, Mohan Mahal on the right.
Scudero with a base hit into left center field. And the Giants have a base runner at first with nobody out.
Well, Smoothie, we have your numbers as a leadoff hitter. You did it 197 times. You hit 283 in that leadoff position. Batting second, 262 games. You hit 264. And a home run.
Yeah. So it was always the power spot for me, that second spot. Here's Crawford at 273. And Crawford, I think Crawford, if he'd have sold that he got hit, he might have got down the line. Because I thought it hit him.
Well, he wanted a bunt and he tried to pull it back, and that thing just kept boring in on him. The lineup cost him the strike, and that was not that far away from the hand. His hand just below it.
So it's 0-1 to Crawford. And Crawford takes down low. No swing on the appeal. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So the leadoff curse in this series has been lifted with that clean single by Marco Scutaro. That felt kind of good, didn't it?
Yeah. I feel better. I feel better watching our ball dudes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're pretty inspirational stories these guys have.
Sandoval on deck. And then Belt. Here's the 1-1 with Scutaro going. It's a hit and run, and it's foul back and out of play.
Well, 2 times Donovan Hand has pounded the inside corner off of Brandon Crawford, and he has got it in there right at the belt. Pence, hit it over the fence. All right, I like that.
Crawford takes low, 2-2. That's a pretty good take. Scutaro's only got 1 steal. He's not a base stealer. And Crawford lines it into left center field, a base hit. Scutaro is going to make the turn. Crawford's going for 2. Here's the throw, and he's going to make it.
Well, we're going to make it our Ford right choice. Why not? It first hit out a leadoff spot this game, and it's followed up by an opposite field gapper on a very good pitch from Donovan Hand. Brandon Crawford just goes down there and beats it. And he took on one of the really good arms in the National League Central. He challenged Carlos Gomez, who could not come up with it. And just like that, Giants gets runners in second, third. Kind of a rough slide here from Brandon Crawford. He went on his belly and stuck.
It's a little more damp out there than Crawford thought.
He's laughing about it with second base umpire Fielding Colbreth.
So here's Sandoval with the infield playing back. And Sandoval to the back foot, and a nice play by Lucroy, and it's 1 ball and no strike. One and 0 to Sandoval. Sandoval fouls it off the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Sandoval definitely looking away on that 1-0 count. Brewers have been pretty consistent to that side of this plate when he's been swinging from the left side this whole series. Away, away, away.
And it's produced a 1 for 11 from Sandoval in this series. This is probably not going to do it. Scutaro is going to bluff. And now the hitter will be Belt.
Such a disappointing at bat for an RBI guy. When you get a runner at third, less than 2 outs, and you don't get him in. That's one you think about for a while.
The perfect out is a deep fly ball to right field or a ground ball to second. So here's Belt. Belt is 5 for 10 on the homestand. And here he takes a breaking ball low and in. First base is open with the right-handed hitting Hunter Pence on deck. Driven to right. Hit well. Aoki looking up. Out of here. Brandon Belt in the cleanup spot. Cleans the bases. And it's 3-0 Giants.
And the new grip is working. They set the target inside at the belt. They nail the location, and he beats the scout report. And let's watch it from the splash camera. And for Brandon Belt, that's got to feel pretty good. Beaten an area where the league has perceived it to be a weakness. Made a correction in his grip on the bat about 2 weeks ago, and it is paying big dividends.
Here's Pence. Pence drives it into right field, a base hit. For the life of me, I can't understand why Bianchi was playing where he was. And the hitter now will be Kieschnick. Kieschnick last night 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Hector Sanchez is on deck. And a breaking ball down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Down low again, and it's 2-0.
Come out of 2 pitches in a row, big slow curveballs, and twice Kieschnick has spit on him.
Remember, Pence has got 17 steals, and he has not been thrown out this year. There's a strikeout. I'd like to see a perfect season for Hunter Pence.
That'd be nice.
The homerless games at home. So that ends today. 3-1 to Kieschnick.
Donovan Hand, I mean, he's a young pitcher, 27 years old, a rookie, and it's kind of, we talk about his curveball, slider, changeup combination that he has to go with that fastball, but if you have a runner being held at first base, you don't want to throw that big slow curveball, and he did it twice to open up this at bat. And it's great you have a good pitch and whatnot, but there are times when you apply pitches to situations.
Pence goes. There's a strike. And is this the broadcaster's jinx? It is. So Pence is out, 2-6-3.
It looked like almost a delayed steal. But I'm going to say, yeah, it is the broadcaster's jinx.
Yep, put it on me.
Way to go, Smooth.
3-2 to Kieschnick. I think Pence thought Kieschnick was probably going to swing at a 3-1 pitch. And Kieschnick takes the walk.
Well, most consecutive stolen bases all time in the San Francisco era. Glenn Allen Hill, Stan Javier had 22. Randy Wynn had 20. And Pence had joined Bobby Bonds, who did it twice with 18. And today, that streak ends. So streaks are like dropping like flies here in the first inning. Hunter Pence with 17 stolen bases this year. and you add the one he had last year, and that's where you get the 18. Because seasons do carry over.
Well, right now, Donovan's hand is not exactly sharp. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Hector Sanchez down in Fresno has hit .271 with 3 homers, 11 RBIs.
Out of play. It's now 2-2.
Yep. Take a bow. You earned it.
Colonel Sanders got it.
Pretty good player.
2-2. Roll to second. It'll be Bianchi, and that'll do it. So, you know, it's been a while since we got to say this. It's 3-0. Brandon Belt, big fly. And it's bye-bye, baby. 3-0 Giants.
Area is brought to you by Big O Tires. Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
More interleague action for the Giants. It'll be on their next homestand. It'll be the Red Sox, August 19th, 20th, 21st. It's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. First 2 nights are night games, and then a day game on Wednesday, 12:45. Now they're telling us that there's some good seats still available for the Red Sox. SFGiants.com. Here there's Carlos Gomez, who takes a pitch high. 1 ball and no strikes. Gomez, Gindel, and Bianchi against Tim Lincecum. And that's the pitch Mike's talking about. You're not going to get the one at the belt.
All right, wish list. Vacation San Francisco. Go to my first Giants game. Officially called a Gamer Babe by Kruger. Meet Tim Lincecum. All right, well, you're a Gamer Babe. You can scratch that one off.
Popped up. Belt may have a shot at this one. He does. All right, on this beautiful day, let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, as Mike mentioned, Hector Sanchez activated today. The corresponding roster move the Giants have designated for assignment Guillermo Quiros. Bruce Bochy talked about Hector before the game. He said he really needed all that time down in Fresno because he's missed so much time this season. He missed a lot of spring training with a shoulder injury and 12 games last month with a shoulder strain. Bruce Bochy said he's healthy now. He's going to give Buster some relief. He also gives him a switch hitter off of the bench. Guys?
All right, Amy, here's Caleb Gindel. Also before the game, Bruce Bochy said about Guillermo Quiros, he said he did a nice job. He said it's not easy to see him go. He said I talked to him last night and I thanked him for everything that he did. There's a swing and a miss. Bruce Bochy was a big fan of Guillermo Quiros.
You couldn't help but be a big fan of Guillermo Quiros. I mean, he's a true professional. Got the ballpark early, left late, never really sat down. He just kept moving, kept working every day. Good pro. Been in this game a long time.
And he did something that every Giants player would like to do, and that's hit a walk-off against
the Dodgers. We will not forget that, Guillermo Quiros.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul. That got Sanchez. It stays at 2-2. This is bounced right past Bianchi, who's on deck. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hector Sanchez, remember the last time he caught Tim Lincecum, it was when he had the old mechanics that would, oftentimes you'd see him throw a lot of scuds out there to a catcher. Scuds are balls that bounce 10 feet in front of home plate, and he was not an easy guy to catch. And for the most part, Hector Sanchez was the guy catching Tim Lincecum. Well, I mean, that's not the case anymore. The last month and a half, every start he's had, he has been very good with his command of his specialty pitches.
Got him.
Or like that. And he's much easier to catch.
So here's Bianchi.
You can see the split. I mean, that is big movement. That starts out just below the belt, drops almost shoe top high. I wonder why this guy's so tough to hit. Well, you get that pitch going like he's got going today. Good luck. Rocks back. And as he steps out, we talk about how long his stride is. He somehow gets it done. He gets out front, and that's the key.
And there's a strike.
You look at Bianchi's name, and it was the first time we've ever seen it pronounced Bianchi and not Bianchi. But it is Bianchi.
Well, we know who his favorite team in the American League is.
Would that be
the Yankees?
I get it.
2-1 pitch. We're going to pop up. Out to shallow right field. It'll be Scooter. Oh, side retired. A nice inning for Lincecum. Blanco's going to lead things off. 3-0 Giants.
by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. GoPro, be a hero.
3-0 Giants. Here's Gregor Blanco, and Blanco takes a wild swing and a miss. You swing at a pitch like that, and you're in the batter's box, and you say to yourself, why did I do that? Haven't seen anything from this guy before. It's not a fastball. Rolled foul, and it's 0-2.
Oh, stay up. I got money on you. Mohan Mahal had his first chance.
How do you do?
I give him a C-.
Got him.
Good backdoor breaking ball. Well, Giants fans, be sure to log on to csnbayarea.com for licensed San Francisco Giants gear. Find all of your favorite hats, jerseys, t-shirts, tank tops, and much, much more. csnbayarea.com, your home for authentic Bay Area sports merchandise all season long.
Here's Tim Lincecum. He's 4 for 38. With Marco Scutero on deck. Day game today in New York, and the Mets beat the Rockies by a final of 2-1. 2-1 pitch. How the Cubs doing?
They are not having any fun in Philadelphia. Cubs right now in Philly, down 10-1. That game in the 7th, and it was a long rain delay. I think they're playing again though.
Right back to hand, and Lincecum will be retired. And that'll bring up Marco Scutero.
Scutero in his last at bat, base hit. It snapped an 0 for 22 that the leadoff spot had.
Yeah, in true leadoff fashion, 11 pitches.
Oh, those are such devastating at bats to pitchers. You go that deep and you walk a guy or he gets a base hit.
A Scutero fan?
Oh yeah, lots of them.
Scutero usually takes a strike, not this time, as he fouls it out of play.
Hey, the Chico fans are back. Had a group of gamer grandmas last night from Chico.
Hey, they're here for the whole homestand. As a matter of fact, it's likely they might have just spent the night right there.
Could have happened.
Pitch the 10th. 2-1 pitch to Scutero. Breaking ball down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Gindo will dig it out, and Scutero's got a 2-out double.
Now you hang breaking balls, you're going to get hit. And that one is just fat right out there, middle in at the belt. Stays inside it beautifully. Just as compact a swing as you could possibly get. His load is just minute. And I mean, he stroked that thing down the line. Two good, clean at bats from Scutero.
Crawford doubled in the first inning.
And he beat a good pitch, too.
And he hits this one on the ground foul right through the camera well down the right field line, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Yep, dropped right into the Corona Beach Club. They're always partying down there.
So you don't have to have a beach to have a beach club.
No.
The pitch is wide, 1 ball and 1 strike.
The rules are you just have to be able to see water. And they can. They can look right out through the archways in right field, see the bay. That makes the Beach Club a qualifier.
Tapped foul. It came up and struck Crawford. It's 1-2. The Baltimore Orioles will be in town. Well, they're in town right now. They were in San Diego yesterday. They had a day game, so a night off last night for the Orioles. Here in San Francisco, a night off tonight. And likely, maybe many of the Oriole players are here scouting.
Well, yeah. Could happen, I guess.
You don't think so?
No.
Crawford down the line. Foul.
Well, you wait long enough, you're going to get a ball. Gentleman in the kayak. Right place, right time. A breaking ball, a middle in. He stays inside it beautifully. Just hooks it foul. It's that easy. You just have to have a kayak.
Crawford goes the other way, foul. I'd say it's pretty nice for a visiting team come into this city and have 2 nights to find a couple of restaurants. What do you think?
I wish we could do that in this city.
Oh my goodness. And Lucroy lets this ball get by him. We'll say this, we had a good stretch at the beginning of the season in Chicago with some free nights.
See Lucroy reaching out trying to shortstop that ball. Not good blocking techniques, and he paid for it. That ball, a breaking ball, is one you should be able to block every time because they're pretty predictable.
Two and two. And a base hit to left field by Crawford, and it's 4-0. How about the top of the lineup?
Yeah, the top of the lineup, 4 for 4. Scudero a single and a double, and Crawford a double and a single. But that's a 2-out RBI. And again, Donovan Ham makes a pretty good pitch. He throws a curveball on the outside part of the plate. And just really a nice top-handed bat. Just going with the location. You cannot keep your head on a ball better than that. That's impossible. That was a beautiful swing. Great 2-strike approach.
So here's Sandoval. Sandoval popped out to the center fielder Gomez in the first. And Sandoval hits a high drive into deep right center field. Aoki, Gomez, and it's going to be Gomez who puts it away.
Unbelievable.
And just don't hit it to that guy, for crying out loud. 4-0 Giants.
is brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's endless summers, waves of cash every day. Visit cachecreek.com for details.
It's a 4-0 lead for the Giants.
Bust a move. The Don Trader.
He's got a game tonight, doesn't he?
Kaepernick, he's here.
Yeah, maybe on the way to the candlestick. You're right. Here's Juan Francisco. Francisco hitting 240. Got a big swing. He's got lots of power, and he tries to hit the ball out of the park.
Well, you need a helmet. Knit one.
I don't think, with the way the concussion thing is going on in the NFL, I don't think that's going to work.
It's my favorite helmet of the year. Season just started.
Francisco, by the way, you can see, tried to bunt for a hit. There's a fastball high, 1-2. And a base hit, a solid base hit as Pence will try to play the carom, but it kicks by him, and Francisco's got a double.
First hit given up by Lincecum. And he finally gets to get to his stretch here for the first time today.
So here's Betancourt. 211 for Betancourt. 12 home runs, 38 driven in. And this is rolled foul. Nice play.
Anthony Robinson. Pickett.
Little guy's in the right spot.
Yes, he is.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Put that in the scout report. You can't hit a hang and break a ball. Set up in the outside corner. Kind of just floats up there above the hands, middle in, a swing through. Definitely a pitch a hitter will start talking to himself openly when he misses it.
Look out. As Lincecum slipped, it's 1-2. Skied out into right center field. Blanco calling off Pence. Blanco will catch. His throw is just a wee bit offline. So here's Donovan Hand. Hand on the year is 1 for 9. Hand tries to check his swing, and he does.
Brian Onora, the first base umpire today.
And a strike. That evens the count.
I think Hand had the takes on him until he got a strike called on him.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
That's a good breaking ball. There's no hump in that thing. That's falling right off the table. Just short, quick. Watch this thing just go straight down. And that's the beauty of Lincecum specialty pitches. They all pretty much have the same type of movement.
Pence moving over as he was shading hand there anyway.
Well, Thursday, August 22nd is Step Up to the Plate night, and your special event package will include a ticket to the game versus the Pirates and a collector's edition Brandon Belt bobblehead. Proceeds from this event will go to San Francisco organizations whose missions are in line with helping those in need of assistance. For tickets, go to sfgiants.com/special events. And remember, you must purchase a special event ticket to receive the Brandon Belt bobblehead.
So here's the leadoff hitter for the Brewers, Noyaoki. And Lincecum starts him off with a curveball.
He's used that big curveball a lot to get that strike one. It's not one you're going to look for. Not on the first pitch.
And he comes back with another off-speed pitch, 0-2.
I'm just glad I didn't have to analyze that swing. That was ugly.
And Sanchez just throws his body in front of that one, and it's 1-2.
That's the block of the series right there. That was a sensational play. So Sanchez gets his first scud. It looked like it was on a fastball. Then bounced away on a home plate. That was a split. Hits him right in the right bicep. Again, nice defensive work from Sanchez. All right, let's watch this one. Another scud. Buster Posey with a day out today. Can definitely commiserate with Hector Sanchez about trying to stop that type of a one-hopper with a runner at third.
Sandoval will charge, Sandoval will throw, and they got him. And that'll end the inning. Nice play. Belt, Pence, Kieschnick coming up, 4-0. Giants. His career in the big leagues, anybody with ability can play in the big leagues. To last as long as I did with the skills I had, with the numbers I produced, well, that was a triumph of the human spirit.
He had 14 home runs. Come on, 4 against the Giants.
Pretty good one. Here's Bell to knock out a home run in the first inning. There's Juke's numbers as a player.
versus the Giants hit 165, but with 4 home runs.
Two balls and a strike to Belt.
27 pass balls really was a bit misleading because he was catching Phil Niekro, a knuckleballer. And we did get the scout report on Euchre. He was a great guy in the clubhouse, obviously, but he could catch. He was a good receiver.
And a full count now to Belt. And Belt's going to take the walk.
Brandon Belt accounted for a 3-run swing in the first inning. He tried to go inside with a 2-seam fastball, and he dug it out and put it right over Levi's landing. Home run number 12 for Belt. RBIs 42, 43, and 44. I kind of like that 3-run homer.
Yep. I can tell you another guy in the Giants dugout that did too. Pence singled in the first inning. Here he takes a strike. And Pence with a big swing and a miss.
Well, you want to go up there and you want to take a pitch that maybe get timed. Throws a fastball right down the throat. I don't know what kind of guy drops a perfect curveball and you wave at it. And that's a frustrating 0-2.
And a base hit into center field. And can't quite figure this out. Anything he throws below the knees is getting knocked into the outfield.
And this is not a hanger. I mean, this is an 0-2 curveball. I mean, really, you think about it, it's a perfect pitch in the strike zone, and that's the mistake. When you're ahead 0-2, you don't want to leave it in the strike zone. It's got to be below the strike zone. Bounce that thing.
So here's Kieschnick. Kieschnick walked in the first.
What we've seen from Kieschnick is a very balanced swing, and he likes to use the middle of the field.
Swing and a foul into the glove of Jonathan Lucroy.
And I think the Brewers have identified Kieschnick as a pretty good fastball hitter because they've stayed away from him.
I agree.
And given him a lot of slop. Change-ups, big floaty curveballs, back foot sliders.
Got him.
Comes around the backside at an 0-2 count. Pretty much the same strike 3 pitch we saw from hand throw to Gregor Blanco in the second. And there's that low strike you get from Adrian Johnson.
Here's Hector Sanchez, who bounced out to second to end the first. And he takes low and away. Sanchez, switch hitter, slightly open stance. And he taps this one out in front of home plate. Hands only play will be at first. So Sanchez is retired. Both runners move up. And Gregor Blanco will be the hitter. Now, whether he gets the chance to hit or not, we'll find that out in about 35 seconds. And it'll be an intentional pass. Tim Lincecum's got a shot here.
Swinging the bat better.
Yes, he has. I'm making a call that he hits his first one out.
All right, we got a man making an extreme call here. Tim Lincecum does not have a big league home run. But Smooth, you're dialing long distance. I hope it happens. And really, we were watching this guy in batting practice this week, and he flips them out over right field a lot. Now, it has to be a fastball that's above the knees, middle in. That's his happy zone, but he definitely has the talent to do it.
So here's Lincecum. Bases are loaded. And it's low. 1 ball and no strike.
And he can sense the same thing, Smooth. He's nibbling, little backdoor slider.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just setting him up.
Oh, yeah.
He had that Aoki swing we saw in the 3rd inning.
Foul down the left field line and out of play.
Looking for that mistake, middle in. Look at the swing, and it really is a pretty good hack. Look at Tardy. You like to let it get in there deep, but not that deep.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. Oh, well. 4th inning coming up. CSN Giants name the only player in the major leagues this season with 15+ home runs, 25+ stolen bases, and 50+ runs batted in. Here's Segura. Inside corner strike. Segura struck out in the first. Segura can run. Crawford gets rid of it, and a nice play.
Wow. The beauty of this play, he's going full speed, and he's got to go all the way down low. And watch how low he makes the exchange. I mean, that is a play you really don't practice. It's a total ad-lib, and you better have a strong foundation, because you're not getting any time from Segura. He's putting heat on the play with his speed. Beautiful play.
So with one out, here's Jonathan Lucroy. All right, there's a new Brew Crew hat. So tell me if you think that's a winner.
You know, I wonder what they do up there in the winter when it gets cold in Wisconsin.
This is hit out to Pence, who moves back. Pence will put it away.
Hey, Camp Sequoia's here. Oh, yeah, having fun.
Man down.
It's all right. He'll get it up. There's a technique for that.
One of those swings and misses.
Yep. It's all part of it. It's in the instruction manual.
Nothing in two. It's like skiing, right? It's like skiing and snowboarding. You're going to go down, you just get up.
That's what you do.
Three pitches. And a see you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
Here we go. Get up. Not a problem.
Set up a four.
So cool. It's the biofeedback reaction time exhibit. It works with synapse, nerves, muscle groups, and we all know that fast reaction is essential for an athlete, whether you're trying to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or catch a comebacker. All right, Claire, hit it. Oh, yeah. 0.2 is like normal human reaction time, guys. I'm at 0.14, superhuman. Come out here, Chevron STEM Zone, Exhibit Collection, Marina Gates. It's your all homestand. 5.14.
Well, that's good brachioradialis there, Amy G. Nice going. Marco Scudero 2 for 2 today with 2 great at-bats. He ended an 0 for 22 streak in that leadoff spot in the lineup.
Here's Segura. And Scudero retired for the first time. And that'll bring up Brandon Crawford. Crawford, a double and a single. And the pitch is down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. Count leverage for Crawford. And he takes a strike. You see Donovan. Donovan's a guy that just because it's 2-0 doesn't mean he's going to throw a fastball.
Well, he's got to pitch that way. I mean, he has to stay away from the fastball. He doesn't have enough to challenge you.
Crawford skies this one into deep right center field. And that'll be put away by Nori Aoki. Here's our AT trivia question and answer. Name the only player in the major leagues this season with 15 plus home runs, 25 plus stolen bases, and 50 plus runs batted in. He's here. And that would be Carlos Gomez.
Well, Hunter Pence is not far behind him.
Remember the first at bat for Brandon Crawford in the big leagues? And what did he do? Hit that grand slam in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
That ball he hit just now was hit a lot better than the grand slam he hit.
Well, he got AT&T'd. He's had great swings today against Hand. But, I mean, that's the deal. There are ballparks that favor pitchers. There are ballparks that favor hitters. In a ballpark like this, you're going to have some balls that get caught that should go out into the ballparks.
Which, when you look at it, pretty amazing at the year Buster Posey had last year to win the MVP.
Yeah.
When other ballparks are more conducive to home runs and RBIs. Sandoval pops this one up. This could be playable for Betancourt. And it really was more of a play for Jonathan Lucroy than Betancourt.
Yeah, I don't think Lucroy ever saw it. He started going over to where the ball was once he saw Betancourt was heading over there. But once he dropped the mask, looked up, I think he got a whole face full of sun. You talk about guys that got robbed today. Pablo Sandoval, his first at bat, hit the ball 415 feet. And all they got out of it was a big league hang with him.
O-U-T. We've seen Buster Posey in this series maybe lose 3 hits at least on balls hit to the outfield in this park. Sandoval will take the walk. So here's Belt. Out the giraffes. Belt waited on that breaking ball and pulls it foul.
That's a giraffe cane. I haven't seen one of those.
One ball and one strike. To the left-handed hitting Brandon Belt. Fouls this one. It's 1-2.
Talk about power. A lot of scouts, old-time scouts, will tell you hitters really don't develop all of their power, get all their power, until they're between the ages of 28 to 32. That's when it all locks in.
And another fine play by Lucroy. It's 2-2.
And when you look at Brandon Bell, you have to remind yourself that he's 25 years old. Still in his 4th year of professional baseball. And he only had 670 at-bats in the minor leagues.
Hit into left center field. And this one is going to be caught by Gomez as he tumbles 4 different times and he makes the catch to end the inning. I'll say it one more time. Just don't hit it to the guy.
Yeah, he's been a Gold Glover in this series. Extend out to a backhander and then a couple of rolls just for style points, fun, and that was nice.
Giants with 3 in the first, 1 in the second. Here in the 5th inning, it'll be Gindel, Bianchi, and then Francisco. Lincecum's allowed 1 hit, and that was a double to Juan Francisco in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch is wide.
Here's the backhander that ended it for the Giants in the bottom of the 4th. And it's what we've witnessed this entire series. Carlos Gomez has really played a Gold Glove center field. We have not seen anybody play it better than what we've seen him play in these 4 games. He's been unbelievable. think he milked it a little bit, but you know what? You make a play like this, you deserve to take the second roll. All right, there's a one, and then he adds another one. And he's been robbing guys left and right.
It's his hit out of play. It's 2-2.
I think Gomez was the difference in the game last night and on Tuesday.
Hit up the middle for Crawford. All right, let's check out McDonald's true stories and this Dayton Giants history. In 2007, Bruce Bochy posted his 1,000th managerial win and a 5-0 win over the Nationals, where Matt Cain crushed his first career home run in the fifth.
He had to work on his trot a little bit there. He was lighting up the dugout. But hey, you hit your first home run, you get a little excited.
Here's Bianchi. Bianchi popped out to Scudero in the second.
Good pitch. Just missed, perhaps a bit low. Perhaps Adrian Johnson may have missed one.
No. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Two strikes. You got to get down there and block that ball in the dirt in case he swings, and can't let that ball get by it.
Yeah, you can't olay it, that's for sure.
If you're a catcher, there's a rule of thumb you should follow. Block everything like there's a runner at third. We watched Mike Matheny, who we thought was the best ball blocker who's ever put on a Giants uniform. He was fantastic, and he was a tall catcher. But when Mike Matheny would warm guys up in the pen and they threw a ball in the dirt, he would block it. He blocked everything. Never took a block off.
Bianchi takes the walk. Let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, great news that Ryan Vogelsong is back in that starting rotation. He gets the nod tomorrow, and I thought it was appropriate to talk to his wife about it. We got a new Diamond Girls brought to you by Acura, available at csnbarrier.com. Nicole and I talk about Ryan's journey back from injury, and we talk about Rally Enchiladas. Don't miss it. csnbarrier.com. Diamond Girls, guys.
All right.
Yep, the game phase is on.
Oh, yeah. Do not make eye contact. Here's Francisco, who takes a curveball for a strike. Francisco hit a bullet past Belt, and he turned it into a leadoff double in the third. It's 4-0 Giants. The Yankee at first, he takes off, swing and a miss. Sanchez throw is a good one, but it's late. That was a good throw.
Yeah, outstanding throw. I mean, that's the best throw we've seen him throw all year. Remember, he had some shoulder problems in spring training. It really hurt him the last couple times he was up. And this was not an easy pitch to throw off of, but this was a very good recovery. So bottom line, Bianchi picked a great pitch to go on. You cannot hang that on Hector Sanchez.
Got him.
Big curveball. I mean, a beaut. That got number 5 for Tim Lincecum. See the grip. How do you throw a curveball? Well, like you have a hammer and you're going to hammer that nail in. That's the hand position you have. Threw that one beautifully, and that was a grab some pine meat. Strikeout.
Here's Betancourt, who is 0 for 1 at a fly ball to center field. This is line foul down the right field line and out of play.
Bert Badenhop, the right-handed sinker baller, getting heated up. After the game today, the Brewers get on a plane and head up to Seattle. Part of a 3-city road trip. After Seattle, they get a day off, and then they have a 2-game series against the Rangers in Texas.
Hit foul. Look out. Tim Flannery. No ugly finder there.
That's right. Anthony Robinson, best way to pick the ground ball up. Wait till it stops rolling and pick it up.
One and two to Betancourt.
Just a wee bit in. Saw Hector Sanchez try to cheat that thing with a little bit of hook. Watch the glove work as he curls this thing back in the strike zone, or tries to.
Oh, foul. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning. 6 strikeouts for Lincecum. And for the Giants, it'll be Pence to lead things off.
Bay Area is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Well, MLB.TV celebrates 11 years, and you catch the rest of the 2013 season in HD quality. You can do it when you're away from the Bay Area. You can't watch the Giants live. You can take your team with you with MLB.TV on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. So visit MLB.TV today. Baseball everywhere.
You know, these youngsters got it going.
Oh, yeah.
Pence takes in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Pence is 2 for 2. Hand to the plate. Swinging a high fly ball to right for Aoki. One out.
Yep, you roll it over and you get right back in. It's a great training post to learn how to sell. You don't have to really be very big as a kid to be able to make those things sing.
That's not the one I want to be on. I want to be on the Adventure Cat. As this is fouled off of the foot of Kieschnick.
The Adventure Cat?
The Adventure Cat. Yep, it's out there. And they look like they're having a good time. We saw one last night we wanted to be on. But there's the Adventure Cat.
The lovely Martha? Yeah, well, that one right there is tough to roll over.
Tried to backdoor him and misses.
Yeah, they are pumped up. Come out the yard with your buds. Yep, all the kids out there learning how to sail.
Kieschnick sends a souvenir into the club level.
School is just about a few days away from getting cranked up again. How about that? I don't know if I have really plugged into this August school yet.
Kieschnick out swinging.
Good changeup. I always thought first day after Labor Day was a pretty good day to start.
I really didn't want it to ever start.
Summer vacation. That was definitely the highlight of the year. Yep, this little one here, very comfy.
What do you think Dad's going to be doing tonight?
Watching football.
Right down the street. Sanchez swings and misses. This will be his third at bat. He's 0 for 2. Tell you what he's done. He's done a good job catching Lincecum this afternoon.
He has. Moving around a whole lot better.
One-two pitch. Out of play. We'll do it again.
Yep, first Giants game. Welcome aboard. You are officially in the family. All it takes is a good attitude. And he brought his glove. He's ready. Did his homework.
The Yankees got it, and his throw to first will be in time. It is 4-0 Giants.
not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, on Monday, August 19th, we are holding a One Fun Boston fundraiser right here at AT Park. Your One Fun Boston special event package will include a ticket to the game versus the Red Sox and a randomly selected past special event giveaway item. A portion of every ticket sold goes directly back to the One Fun Boston to aid in the recovery efforts due to the tragic Boston Marathon bombing. For information, go to sfgiants.com/special events and check it out.
Jordan Schaefer's going to pinch hit for Hand. So Donovan Hand, his day is over. And Schaefer's going to roll this one to Scudero. And Scudero to Belt. One pitch, one out.
Those are the best kind. I miss my Angel in the outfield, praying and wishing you well, number 16. We are getting some good news in regards to Angel Pagan. He will play again this year, they're thinking, maybe as early as the 1st of September.
Here's Nori Aoki. Aoki is popped out, or he's bounced out. And a strike call. And the next pitch is top foul at the plate, 0-2. I'll say this about Lincecum. And I don't know when it happened, but maybe over the last maybe 10 starts, he does not wait around any longer.
No, he does not.
He gets the ball back and he goes right in to look for the sign. And it's in the dirt, 1-2.
Almost becomes like a dance step. The longer you take between pitches, the harder it is to maintain a rhythm. And everybody, when they're mechanically messed up, they're so concerned about where their hands are, where their legs are, how they break. Work quickly.
Here's Segura, who's 0 for 2.
I had a pitching coach that said when you're having problems with your mechanics, run a long distance. Try to get into a natural rhythm, and running will do that to you. Swim, it'll give you a natural rhythm. And then try and carry that same natural rhythm onto the mound when you're working. It made a lot of sense. And for some guys, it ended this a slump.
Two and one on the breaking ball.
Omar Vizquel used to talk about dancing and how it gave him rhythm that he would carry onto the infield, and it would improve his play defensively. I mean, he's the best shortstop we ever saw in a Giants uniform defensively, and we've seen some good ones.
Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2.
Segura swings and misses. He has to take a walk. Good split. You see the grip of the split. And look like he had step out, take some inventory, have a word with yourself.
Hit on the ground to Scudero. And let's come with another 1-2-3 inning. Blanco, Lincecum, Scudero coming up.
time now for our Giants in the Community, presented by PG&E. It's all about organ donation today. It is the annual Donate Life Day here at AT Park. More than 20,000 organ donation awareness cards were given out to stress the importance of registering to be a donor. And then the Giants Community Fund gave $10,000 to the California Transplant Donor Network, as well as a donation to Mark Gardner's Step to the Plate Foundation. That foundation helps families of an organ recipient. And of course, our ball dudes here today are both organ donor recipients, and we're really glad that they're here. Way to go, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Everything good. Here it's 4-0. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
John Axford, the former closer for the Brewers, coming in for the 56th time. Hard thrower. He can get up there mid to high 90s. Everybody wave.
Blanco takes down low. Lincecum and then Scutero here in the 6th. Brewers will fly to Seattle after the ball game. They'll open up the series tomorrow night. Giants will host the Orioles and then leave on Monday for Washington, D.C.
It's an old player there. Put his uni on, come out to the yard, make a play. Get yourself a souvenir.
Blanco rolls it foul. He's 0 for 1.
Yeah, take a break off from the office, come out to the yard. You can wear your tie. It's semi-legal.
Yeah, you have to undo the knot, though.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
Two and two to Blanco. He's happy no matter what.
Well, she took the time to make the sign, and she definitely let you know how she feels about her beloved Giants. Win or lose, they roll out. More fun when they win, though.
I ran that one by Bruce Bochy.
Yeah.
Wasn't buying it.
Yeah, he's used to a higher standard than what he's seen here of late. Hard to be patient when your team's not playing up to their capabilities when you're the manager.
And Blanco's going to take a walk. He was walked intentionally in the 3rd. So Lincecum's going to try to bunt off a guy that throws very hard. Donovan Hand walked 4. None of the walks that he issued hurt him. Blanco's going to get doubled up. Not exactly how the Giants had it written up.
No. Lucroy just pops up. Didn't have to go too far for it. Sees an opening at first base. His instincts were right. Throws a perfect throw over to Francisco. And Blanco out by a bunch. I think when he first took the mask out, I'm not sure if he saw where it was. Lucroy making a great play and a perfect throw.
Well, that's, you talk about a tough pitch to bunt. Whoa.
Impossible.
1-1 to Scutero, who's 2 for 3. Scudero opened up the bottom of the first with a base hit. Later on in the second, double. He had a 2-out double. Look out. 3-1.
Well, that really has been the problem as to why Axford's no longer the closer. He just doesn't have the great command. He's got the stuff. See the mid to high 90s fastball and a big over the top curveball. And a changeup, you don't really see it very often, especially the right-handers. But he just has not been able to get it in the strike zone.
He didn't exactly take a little off to get that in.
I mean, easy for him to throw 96. Doesn't have to overthrow to get that number.
And a shot to right and another hit for Scudero. Scudero his third hit.
He's hit it all over. Left center field gap, down the line of left, down the line of right. Just stay inside it, head down through the ball, and go with the location. A little bit of a wrestle job right here for Aoki, but he gets the job done and holds Scudero to a single. Nice play.
Crawford is 2 for 3. And Adrian Johnson says that's a strike, and it's 0-1.
See Scudero coming around first base. He sees the play right in front of him. Realizes there's not an extra 90 feet there, so he has to settle for a single.
Crawford into left center field, and it's going to fall. Crawford with his third hit.
Oh, you want a recipe for success? Have your leadoff hitter and your number 2 hitter get 6 hits in a day. See how you do.
Here's Sandoval. Sandoval has popped out, and then he hit a ball way out into Triple's alley. That was caught. Looks at a strike, and it's 0-1.
That's a nice first pitch curveball there to get strike one. Jerry Rice is here. Kinda.
He too going to take in 2 games today. The 49ers will play exhibition game tonight, and I'm still not over the Super Bowl.
Nobody is.
Very high, 1-2.
A bit of an overthrow there. You know what's going to make you finally forget that Super Bowl?
Not another one.
When they win it.
Yeah, you and I got over the 2002 World Series really fast.
Yeah, it took us till 2010.
Sandoval out swinging on a good challenge to end the inning. We will head to the 7th. It's 4-0 Giants. The Giants 3 in the first on the Belt home run. Donovan Hand went 5. Lincecum still in there dealing. And the Giants 1-2 hitters. They're 6 for 8, 2 doubles, 3 run scores, and an RBI. Okay. And for the Brewers, it'll be Jonathan Lucroy to lead things off. And he's going to get spun around on a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Lincecum wanted it. Sandoval. 1 out. Pirates will be in town on the next homestand. It'll be a 4-game series. The Saturday, the 24th, is a 6:05 start. And the first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Giants fedora presented by Grayton Resort and Casino. And then on Sunday, the first 30,000 fans in a 105 start, they're going to get a Tim Lincecum Gnome presented by Coca-Cola and Lucky. Visit sfgiants.com. Gomez takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, another indicator of just how good the mechanics of Tim Lincecum has been here is when he first came up, you know, he'd get a lot of strikeouts, but he'd get a lot of ground balls. This guy has always preferred the 2-seam fastballs, and he's a guy that could get ground balls, and he's doing it again today. He's been doing it the last 8 starts. All of his specialty pitches have downward break to them. They're always going to be knee high or below. But the fastball, when he's going good, he's out front. It also gets some balls hit on the ground.
I think he's enjoying pitching to Carlos Gomez. Because I think he can sense some frustration on Gomez.
Let's throw a curveball. See ya. Well, he shook off 2 fastballs to get to that curveball. He knew he had him. He struck him out with curveballs his last at bat. And here, perhaps some fine meat. Oh, yeah. Pick up your helmet on the way to home. Just a good curveball. And Lincecum knew he had him when he shook off to get to it. High arm position, elbow way above the shoulder, release point way out front. Perfect. See ya.
Here's Gindel.
This is the most consistent that he has been in the starting rotation for a couple years. He really has gotten back on track mechanically, and you can see the frustration from Gomez.
This is hit to Belt. I did that once in '84, and Corey Bush made me pay for the bat
and the bench.
4-0 lead, and Lincecum's dealing. Well, before the game, Murph and Mack from KNBR, they held their internal batting practice, and here's Murph hit 2 very close to going into the water. They were about 400 yards short. Yes! And then Paulie Mack hit that line drive that went about 40 feet. And our guys were great. They got a lot of personality. It's always fun to talk to them in the morning.
Well, they reached their goal. They wanted to hit a ball to the outfield on the fly. That was their goal this year.
They need to get it over the dirt.
So they did good. The importance is always set your goals low. And they did.
Two balls and no strikes. Belt on the ground is short. And 1 out. The part that we missed is Lee Hammer taking this game.
Yeah, what up for that? I figured he'd be out there hacking.
Here's Pence. Pence has a couple of hits.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate, pulled off it. Something you can feel when you're in the batter's box. So let's see how he tries to correct it. It's always an adjustment. 97 at the knees. He can get it on you quick, can he?
Yes, he can.
And that's a 3-pitch country hardball. See ya. Well, a reminder to stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live highlights, reaction, and analysis. And it's all coming up right after the game. It's Tim's #1 fan. They wrote for us in 2016.
And Kieschnick's got a base hit. He needed that.
Yes, he did.
He had a hat trick last night. He was sitting on 2 strikeouts here.
And again, he uses the middle of the field, which you've seen him do a lot. That's good.
So here's Hector Sanchez.
And he's looking for his first hit to get called up. Activated today. Guillermo Quiroz designated.
For Sanchez today, 3 ground balls, 2 to the second baseman, 1 back to the pitcher. There's a strike. And Sanchez got a pitch up and he fouls it straight back. The Dodgers will be playing tonight in St. Louis.
Hey, the duck boats.
It's rare that you see 2 of them at the same time. I thought there was only 1 actually in the city.
2 duck boats passing in the night.
Next parade, can we have one of those?
Yeah. I'm in.
I think by the 3rd one, we should be able to make that request, right?
That's right.
So far in the 2 parades, we've been in an old car that died and on a fire truck.
Fire truck was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
The old car was pretty cool until it crapped out.
Breaking ball, and that'll do it. Well, that's unhittable. I'm sorry.
It is.
Eighth inning coming up, 4-0 Giants.
Dead tribute night here at AT Park, and everybody got to see Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead and Tim Flannery sing the anthem. Now the third fella was Tim's brother. How did that happen? Well, Tim actually asked Joe LaFay, the Giants assistant hitting coach, to join him. Tim says that Joe has a really good voice. Now, he said he has a really good voice on airplanes while the team's traveling, and maybe there's a beer or two involved. Well, Joe declined, so Tim called in his brother Tom. What a replacement. Tom is a choir teacher in Kentucky, and he sings opera in 3 languages. Good backup choice, guys.
Great backup choice. And the next time they do it, I want them to invite my partner, because he can sing.
John Miller with baritone. It's a good one.
No, my partner sitting next to me, who I could hear between the walls of many hotels. There's a swing and a miss by the young Jeff Bianchi, who's 0 for 1. And he hooks this one foul.
Well, that's where I should sing. Behind closed doors in a hotel room by myself.
I'm never quite sure what language it's in.
Well, it depends what kind of shampoo I'm using.
0-2 pitch to Bianchi. Hit on the ground, foul. This 3 o'clock cup of coffee is going to work.
Yeah, that's becoming a regular habit, isn't it?
Well, you go to bed late and then you get the morning show. Popped up. Could be in the land of nowhere, and Belt makes the catch.
And of all the guys who had to go get it, that was the toughest route. Scudero was going to have a little angle from second base. It was right in front of Pence, but this is right over the shoulder. And it was Pence or nobody. Nice play. Okay, I mean, he covers some ground too. He gets down there just about as far as JT Snow used to. But this play right here, that's about as hard a pop-up as you're going to see a first baseman have in fair ground. Brewers 1 hit today, and here it is. It was clean. Juan Francisco hit a double. Nobody really had a chance to make a play on. But that's been it. Lincecum has been outstanding today.
Ball got away from him just a little bit. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Roll foul, 2-2. So Lincecum now with 105 pitches. And he just got a piece. Francisco did. It stays at 2-2. Pittsburgh in extra innings beat Miami. Mets over Colorado. Phillies large over Chicago. Cleveland will host Detroit later on tonight, as will Kansas City and Boston. Got him. And a long walk back for Francisco.
8th strikeout today for Lincecum. He's been really pretty even with how he's struck guys out. He's done it with a fastball, a slider, the curveball, the split. It's all been working, folks. 9 career complete games, 6 of those were shutouts.
Hit to Pence. And the last pitch thrown by Lincecum, we think, is a fly ball to Hunter Pence as he walks off to a standing ovation. In the Giants television network, and then Sunday at 1 on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area right here. Pregame Live will be at 12:30. By the way, Saturday, check us out on KNBR. 4-0 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Robert Wooten, the new pitcher. It's the 8th time that he has been in a big league game. Really got off to a nice start, though. Just 6 base runners at 8 2/3. Just tearing up lefties. Just hitting .083 against him. And Tim Lincecum's day is over.
Blanco out of play.
Wooten not a real hard thrower. Fastball that he'll sink, cut. He's got a curveball, slider, and he will throw a split. That's what he uses as a changeup. Everything out of the stretch.
On the backhand, Francisco. He goes to the bag. Blanco's retired. He's 0 for 2 today. And the hitter's going to be Andres Torres. Torres with a swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Torres skies this one into center field for Gomez. Stay tuned for the post-game wrap. That's going to come up in just a little bit, and Mike will also talk about the game and the batting practice today with Murph and Mack tomorrow morning on KMBR 680.
Yeah, I hope the majority of the conversation is going to be about Tim Lincecum because he was unbelievable today. 8 strong innings, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, just 2 base runners in 8 innings, 8 strikeouts. Retired the last 11 guys he faced.
Well, I hope it's about how bad they looked at the plate. Scudero's got 3 hits, 2 singles and a double.
Scudero with a big day today, 3-hit day.
Way outside and low. And a strike to Scudero, so he works it to 3-2, and he does that a lot.
The other thing we see common around baseball now, you never saw in our generation, was guys hitting with sunglasses on.
And that's rolled foul. Yeah, that, I think it started with Tony Gwynn. But they were, remember they were tinted. They weren't actually sunglasses. They were more for the brightness. Got him, and that'll end the inning. So we will head to the 9th. We will have a new pitcher, and it's 4-0 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So Sandy Rosario, needing an inning, is going to pitch the 9th inning here. 29th time that he's come in. 2-0 with a 2.37 ERA. This is not a save situation. 23 strikeouts against 13 walks and 30 1/3. See a low 90s fastball, slider, and a changeup.
How'd Lincecum do?
Lincecum lights out. Continues that nice streak that he has been on. Mechanically, he is as solid as we've seen him. Just pitched beautifully.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis turned out to be the difference in the game last night. Made a great defensive play off of the ball hit by Buster Posey. One ball and one strike.
Nice breaking that. The Milwaukee Brewers really were kind of disadvantaged today. They lost Ricky Weeks last night with a hamstring injury. He's not even here at the ballpark, so they had 3 extra guys on the bench. Ron Renicky played most of the series with 4 extra men and a beefed up bullpen, but today, because of Weeks' injury, just 3 extra guys. And they're thinking that the hamstring injury to Ricky Weeks is a substantial one. It's going to cost him some time.
And a base hit to left field. That'll roll past Kieschnick. And it'll be a double. So Bruce Bochy certainly doesn't want things to get weird here in the 9th inning. So Javi Lopez is going to be coming in to face Nori Aoki. It's 4-0, and we'll be back.
You by Sonoma Raceway. Catch the IndyCar GoPro Grand Prix of Sonoma August 23rd through the 25th. For tickets, go to racesonoma.com.
For 4-0 Giants with Nori Aoki coming up with Lopez on the hill.
Man, Javier Lopez has been the go-to guy. He's having a solid season. 49th time that he's come in. 1-1 with a 1.33 ERA, and he's just been chewing on lefties. He hit just a $1.72 on him.
Belt. 1 pitch, 1 out.
So Lopez continues to dominate the lefties.
And Bruce Bochy's coming out, and Romo's coming in. So when it's time for a change, things speedy. Oil change and tune-up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. We'll be back.
Lots of good entertainment from our partner, Matt Maiocco, 49ers Insider, and Monty Poole. He is from the Oakland Tribune, and he is always entertaining. So join Jim Kozimor tonight on Yahoo Sports Talk Live, presented by Farmers. Sergio Romo in for the 47th time. He inherits a runner at third, 1 out scenario. You can see 27 saves in 31 ops.
Strike to Segura. Segura struck out, and he's bounced out twice. Crawford threw him out on a nice play in the 4th inning. And a base hit to left field. So that'll knock in Chris Davis. Segura with his first hit. And it's 4-1. And that'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy takes wide. Oh for 3 off of Lincecum, Jonathan Lucroy. Segura goes. Not in time, but close.
Now, still another nice throw. The throws themselves are night and day different from the last time we saw Hector Sanchez. And I think in this situation here, Sergio Romo really not paying a whole lot of attention to him. He's concentrating on the guy in the batter's box, which he should. A 3-run lead, and that's what you're thinking about. But to Segura's credit, he took advantage of it.
There's that slider for a strike. Gomez to follow. Swing and a foul at the plate. It's a 4-1 lead for the Giants. This is the only inning that the Brewers have scored. And this is popped up. It's Belt coming in and Belt putting it away. And here's Carlos Gomez. Gomez is 0 for 3. Those at bats against Lincecum. And the pitch, swing and a miss. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
I know Gomez is aggressive, especially with men on base. Especially since Lincecum schooled him. He's already got 2 strikeouts under his belt. He wants to atone for that. And he will go out of the strike zone. And Romo knows it. Going right back out there again. Kendall on deck represents the tie and run.
One and 2.
Staying out there. Gomez steps out of the box and he wrapped himself in the head with the barrel of his bat, angry that he chased again. Some things you just can't help.
Caught him, and that's the ball game. Tim Lincecum, early offense in the bullpen, and the Giants snapped this 2-game winning streak. And this afternoon, in front of the sellout crowd, they will send everybody home happy. And Giants or Mike, a much-needed win for the Giants.
Well, it really was, and the point you made about the early runs had everything to do with the success of today's game. But Tim Lincecum continues this resurgence. He pitched beautiful baseball, just 1 hit allowed through 8 with 8 strikeouts. He was the difference maker in this game.
Final score: the Giants beat the Brewers. Giants 4, Brewers 1. East Sheeran's Giants post-game live with interviews and the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studios for an update.